All praises to the Lord. All praises to the Most High. Brothers and sisters online, shalom to you all. All praises to the Lord. Brothers and sisters with a new school, let's give the Lord a hand, man. All praises to the Most High. Man, the Lord is doing the things. You see, He's doing the things. All praises to the Most High. Coming from the Flyer Mission. Sabbath, happy Sabbath to you. Shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless you all. It's been a while. It's been a minute. We're doing things in the background. There's more things that you will see, okay, that will be announced in Israel. But the Most High God is showing us favor, man. Isn't it? Our praises to the Most High God, man. This work will be done. Understand that, man. This work will be done with or without them niggers. The work will get done. The Most High is doing some good things. I can tell you now. Now, give me John 8:32, man. John 8:32. Hey, take notes, okay? We're going to do part 2 of Unrighteous Decrees. So, brothers and sisters, I may rush through it a little bit, but just bear with us. You can rewind and replay. Okay, come on. John chapter 8, verse 32. Read that.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 32.
Read.
And ye shall know the truth.
And you shall know the truth.
And the truth shall make you free.
And the truth shall make you free. You know what I've noticed when we're at camp, man? When we're at the Flyer Missions, it's a camp. Our people, our people are lost, man. You see, our people, they are so lost, and a lot of the times when you talk to them and say, hey, did you know that Jesus is a black man? They're like, yeah, I know. And then you ask them the question, they'll say, okay, show me. Which scripture did you read? What verse? What chapter? They're like, no, I don't know. Then you show them the picture of the criminal, Caesar Borgia. They say, oh yeah, that's Jesus. I'm like, wait, but you just said you know that Jesus is black. Then you can see, you understand, or there's confusion. They're like, no, sis, brother, let me show you. This is what the scripture says in Revelation 1:14 and 15. They're like, yo, happy it looks like me. I'm like, you see? So our people, they are lost, but our people, they do have some kind of an idea. Some will say, no, but he was born here in Africa, something like that. They say stuff like that, but they can't prove it because they don't know. That's why we had to show them. You understand? Read that again.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 32.
Read.
And ye shall know the truth.
And you shall know the truth.
And the truth shall make you free.
And the truth shall make you free. So as a people, we are lost. You understand? You see it when we go to camp, when we do Flyer Missions, we speak to mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, man, children. You can see our people is lost. They need this truth. Okay? Go ahead.
They answered him, we be Abraham's seed.
They say we be Abraham's seed. We are the seed of Abraham. Go ahead.
And were never in bondage to any man.
And they say they were never in bondage to any man. And that's what some of our people are saying today. They say, no, me, I'm not a slave. I'm free. You talk to them, especially these so-called clever blacks. They don't believe they are slaves. You understand? They are still at the bottom. Understand? Because this is during the time of Rome. During the time of Rome, you had Israelites that were rich in Rome. You understand? But guess what? They knew that they were slaves, but you had those Israelites that ate better, that lived better than the rest of our people. They thought that they were not slaves because they said, no, we are the seed of Abraham. We've never been in bondage to any man. But as if they never read the scriptures. You understand? Go ahead.
How sayest thou, ye shall be made free?
He says, why are you asking that you shall be made free? Go ahead.
Jesus answered him, verily, verily.
No. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Go ahead. Verse 34 here. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Jesus answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you,
read.
Whosoever committed sin is the servant of sin.
Whosoever committed sin is the servant of sin. Now read that in 1 John 3 and 4. Because the sin that we're in, the sin is the breaking of God's laws. So Christ is saying two things here. One is, if you are in the midst of sin, committing sin, you don't repent, you are in bondage to that sin. Not only that, but it's also, because remember, as long as we are in captivity, as long as we are breaking God's commandments, we will remain in captivity. So what's keeping us in bondage? Sin. You understand? 1 John 3 and 4. Read that.
The first book of John, chapter 3, verse 4.
Come on.
Whosoever committed sin.
Whosoever of the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, commit sin. Come on.
Transgresseth also the law.
They transgress the law. So sin is the breaking of God's commandments. Come on.
For sin is the transgression of the law.
That's what sin is, the breaking of God's laws. So go back to where was it now? Verse 34 again.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 34.
Read.
Jesus answered them, Verily, verily, I say unto you,
Read.
whosoever committed sin
Whosoever is breaking the laws of God, come on,
is the servant of sin.
is the servant of sin. Because of sin, that's why we are in captivity. That's what Christ was letting us know. Okay, go ahead.
And the servant abideth not in the house forever,
You see that? The servant abideth not in the house forever. Read.
but the Son abideth ever.
But the Son abideth ever. You see that thing? So Christ is letting us know that, but the Son lives forever, and the Son abideth in the house forever. You understand that? But you must keep God's commandments to abide in the house of the Lord forever. Read.
If the Son therefore shall make you free,
The same Son that abideth forever, if He's the one that makes you free, come on,
ye shall be free indeed.
you're gonna be free indeed. Because as a people, we are slaves. That is the thing we must understand. We are at the bottom of all nations because we are the slaves. We are slaves in this country. We are slaves under Babylon. We are slaves in South Africa. We are slaves in America, in China, in India, in Gabon, in the Congo, in Nigeria, in Mozambique, in Mauritius. You understand? In everywhere where black people, the Israelites are, we are slaves. North Central and South America, we are slaves. We are at the bottom. But the one that is going to deliver us so that we are no slaves no more is the Son of Man, Christ. He's the one that is going to deliver us, and on that day, great shall be the day of Jezreel. Hosea 1 and 10. Get that real quick for me. Now, the reason why we are going over this is because our people must know that we are not free. That's why you see President Trump, he's pushing out unrighteous decrees. These unrighteous decrees, they are designed to what? To oppress the 12 tribes of Israel. Economically, militarily, spiritually, and otherwise. You understand? Whether you eat in the schools, in the medical, in medical world, you understand? Our people are being oppressed. Where we are staying in the ghettos, even in the suburbs, in the cities, black men and black women, the children of Israel, we are oppressed. Now read that.
The book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered. So we cannot be measured, neither can we be numbered. We outnumber all nations on earth. Read.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them,
In the place where it was said unto them, go ahead.
ye are not my people.
You know what it means, ye are not my people? Give me that in Deuteronomy 28 verse 37. When it says in the place where it was, this place is the lands where the Lord is going to scatter us as slaves. In the place, that's the lands of our captivities. Wherever we are going to be scattered, guess what? It says what? Ye shall what? It says in the place. It says in the place when it was said unto them, ye are not my people. Who's going to say we are not God's people? Our slave masters. They are the ones that are going to say we are not God's people. Read that. Deuteronomy 28 verse 37.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37.
Read.
And thou shalt become an astonishment.
You see what the Lord is saying? This is part of God's judgment. He says we shall become an astonishment. Read.
A proverb.
That's a proverb, meaning you're a proverb. That's a negative saying, a negative connotation attached to you, to your name, to your nation. Okay, come on.
And a byword.
And a what?
And a byword.
That's what it says. In the place where it shall be said unto them, ye are not my people. This is what it means. We are going to be called a byword, meaning we are going to be called outside of our God-given names. You're not going to remember that you are a Jew. Neither will you be called one. In the land where you are going to be said, you are not God's people, that's what it means. Okay, go ahead.
And a byword.
And a byword.
Among all nations.
You see, among all nations where we are going to be scattered. Right?
Whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Through slavery, colonization, and forced migration. So go back. Hosea 1, verse 10 again.
The book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10.
Read.
Yet the number of the children of Israel.
So verse 11 is what we want, but I wanted to touch on verse 10 for a reason. Go ahead.
Shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered. Read.
And it shall come to pass.
Come on.
that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
You're meaning what? You shall be what? You shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword in the lands of our captivities. Read. They in the name or in the lands of our captivities. Read on.
It shall be said unto them.
It shall be said unto them.
Ye are the sons of the living God.
Who's going to say it? Who's going to say all this? The prophets when they hit the streets. They are the ones that are going to teach that we are the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, come on.
Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel.
This is northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Then shall the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom of Israel, come on,
be gathered together.
We are going to be gathered together from the lands of our captivities by the Lord of heaven and earth when he returns. Read.
And appoint themselves one head.
That one head is the Messiah, the black Messiah, Jesus the Christ, who died for us. There is no white man that can die for a black man. He did not exist. You understand? Read.
And they shall come up out of the land.
We shall come up out of the land. Go ahead.
For great shall be the day of Jezreel.
For great shall be the day of our deliverance when the Lord returns. So guess what? When it says there only, if the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. That's what he's talking about right here. You understand? You can read about that in Revelation 11 as well. I'm not going there today. Okay, now go back. Now, let's get into it because we touched on when we were going over the unrighteous decrees part 1, we went from Egypt to Babylon. This Babylon is Babylon the Great. Not Babylon of Nebuchadnezzar, but the extension of it in these last days under a new ruler who's called Esau, Edom, Idomia. You understand? So we touched on Egypt when we were slaves under Pharaoh. We touched on Assyria when we were slaves under the Assyrians. We touched on Babylon. We touched on Persia. Now we're going to touch on the Greeks. You understand? Now give me the book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 5. Daniel 8 and 5. Yes, sir. Yeah. Daniel chapter 8 verse 5. Read that.
The book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 5.
Read.
And as I was considering, behold, and he-goat came from the west, on the face of the whole earth.
On the face of the whole earth. Come on.
And touched not the ground.
He touched not the ground. It's so powerful. This he-goat was powerful, man. This is an empire rising. Daniel, the Lord is showing Daniel the empires that will rise on this earth and rule. Okay, go ahead.
And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power.
In the fury of his power. Remember now, this empire is rising. Read verse 5 again. I'm going to show you something.
Yes, sir. The book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 5. And as I was considering, behold, and he-goat.
And what now?
And he-goat.
And he-goat. So this animal represents the empire that's going to rise after the Persian Media. Read.
Came from the west. On the face.
Came from the what?
Came from the west.
Exactly. Even in these last days. Where did he come from? The west. Read.
On the face of the whole earth.
On the face of the whole earth. Go ahead.
And touched not the ground.
And touched not the ground. He was that powerful. Read.
The goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
He had a notable horn between his eyes. Let's see who the goat represents. Jump down to verse 21.
Yes, sir. Verse 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
And the rough goat is the king of what?
Is the king of Grecia.
The rough goat is the king of Grecia. This is the Greeks now. The Greeks, they are the ones that took over the Persian Empire. You understand? This is Darius the third. Okay, read that again.
Yes, sir. The book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 21.
Read.
And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
Is the king of Grecia. The king of the Greeks. Okay, come on.
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Is the first king of the Greeks. Now give me that in 1 Maccabees 1 and 1. Let's see who is the first king of Grecia. Okay. This is the Apocrypha. Okay, those of you who don't have the Apocrypha, you can buy it. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it on Take a Lot. You understand? If you don't have it right now, you can also use it. You can read it on your Bible app on your phone. Okay. 1 Maccabees 1 and 1.
Yes, sir. The first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 1.
Read.
And it happened after the Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian,
The what now?
the Macedonian,
Read.
who came out of the land of Kittim,
He came out of the land of Kittim, Rome. Kittim is Rome. Come on.
had smitten Darius,
He did what now?
had smitten
He
Darius,
smitten Darius. Come on.
king of the Persians and Medes,
You see, this is Darius the third. He smitten Darius the third, who was the king of the Persians in the Median Empire. Read.
that he reigned in his stead,
Mm-hmm.
the first over Greece,
The what now?
the first over Greece.
The first over Greece. So now this is the so-called white man coming into power. The year is around 333 BC. You understand? Some say 336, some say 333, but it's around that time period, 333 BC. So this is when the white man is coming into power during the time of the Greeks. The Greeks are now coming into power. They are taking over the Persian Empire. You understand? So go back to Daniel. So that's what Daniel was making reference to. The Greek Empire. Okay. Daniel 8 verse 5 again.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 5.
Read.
And as I was considering, behold, and he goat came from the west of the face of the whole earth,
Come on.
and touched not the ground.
He was powerful. He was so powerful that he touched not the ground. Go ahead.
And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
Read.
And he came to the ram that had two horns.
He came to the ram, which is what? The kingdom of Media and Persia. That he took over from Darius the third. Read.
Which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power.
In the what now?
In the fury of his
They were
power.
angry. They did not come on the scene as nice people. They were coming to take over and conquer. Read.
And I saw him come close unto the ram,
Go ahead.
and he was moved with choler against him,
Great anger. Read on.
and smote the ram, and brake his two horns.
Meaning he destroyed the kingdom of Media and Persia. He break his two horns. Remember, the ram represented the kingdom of Media and Persia, starting with the Media Empire, ending with the Persian Empire. So the one horn was bigger than the other horn. So when Alexander came on the scene, he destroyed both empires. You understand? Media and Persia. Read.
And there was no power in the ram to stand before him.
Because they could not deliver themselves out of the goat. Because it was prophesied that that's what's going to happen. And there's nothing they're going to do about it. Read.
But he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
You see that? Nobody could rescue the Persian and Media Empire out of the hands of Alexander the so-called Great. You understand that? Okay. All praises. Now keep reading. Keep reading. Verse 8.
Therefore, the he-goat waxed very
He
great,
became more powerful. The more after he conquered Media and Persia, he went on to conquer more lands. Okay, come on.
and when he was strong, the great horn was
The
broken,
great horn was broken. We're gonna read about that. Come on.
and for it came up four notable ones.
It says what? And for it came up four notable ones. Read.
Toward the four winds of heaven.
Towards the four winds of heaven. Now we're gonna touch on that. Now go back to First Maccabees now. First Maccabees chapter 1. Read verse 7. Actually, you know what? We read First Maccabees 1. Read verse 2. Because what we read here, it says he works very great. So I'm going to show you what that means when he says he works very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken. I'm going to touch on that. Read it.
The first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 2.
Read.
And made many wars.
You see that? When he says he works very great, he made many wars. He was conquering, man. Read.
And won many strongholds.
Many strongholds, meaning great empires and kingdoms. Media was a great empire. Persia was a great empire. Okay, come on.
And slew the kings of the earth.
Wait. What's happening? Are we good? Brothers and sisters, give us a second. Wait, what? Okay, all praise to the Most High. Brothers and sisters, we back. Okay, looks like the stream went black by the time shortly after we read the book of Hosea. So I'm going to touch on Daniel 8 verse 5 one more again. Brothers and sisters, bear with us, man. Okay, read that. Daniel chapter 8 verse 5.
The book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 5.
Read.
And as I was considering, behold, and he goat came from the west of...
So what we are reading here is the kingdom that rose after the kingdom of Media and Persia. Okay, read that again.
The book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 5.
Read.
And as I was considering, behold, and he goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth.
On the face of the whole earth, come on.
And touched not the ground. And the he goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
It says this he goat had a notable horn between his eyes, because this he goat represents the next empire that will rise after the kingdom of the Media and Persian Empire. Okay, let's go to the book of the Maccabee. Jump down to verse 21, so we can understand who is this empire that will rise after the Media and Persian Empire. Read it.
The book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 21.
Come on.
And the rough goat is the king of Greece.
So now Daniel is giving us the answer. He says the rough goat, this rough goat that we read in verse 5 is the king of what?
Is the king of Greece.
Is the king of Grecia. Grecia is another name to mean the Greeks. Okay, come on.
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
So that horn represents the first king of the Greeks. You understand? So let's see the name of this first king that rose to take over the kingdom of Media and Persia. Now give me that in 1 Maccabees 1:1. Okay, come on.
The first book of Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1.
Read.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
The Macedonian, it says Alexander. So that Alexander is that horn that was between the forehead of the he-goat. Go ahead.
Who came out of the land of Kittim.
Kittim is Rome. Read.
Had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
You see that? He took over the kingdom of Media and Persia when Darius was ruling. This right here is Darius the third. We went over this many times in different classes. You can read about that when we're going over the class here, the Feast of the Dedication. You can read up. You can read we go into depth. You understand? We have actual books that we showcase, so you can go into that. We have many classes online in the classroom. Okay, particularly when we're going over the Feast of the Dedication. Okay, read that again.
The first book of Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1.
Go ahead.
It happened after that Alexander, son of Philip,
Read.
the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim,
Read.
had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
He smitten the kings of the what? The king of the Persians and Medes. Go ahead.
That he reigned in his stead.
He reigned in his stead.
The first over Greece.
The first over Greece. So Alexander was the first king of the Greeks. Alexander. And he took over the kingdom of Media and Persia under the rule of Darius the third. Okay, go back now. Daniel 8 verse 5. One more again.
The book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 5.
Read.
And as I was considering, behold, and he goat came from the west of the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground.
Read.
And the he goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
And that notable horn was Alexander the so-called Great, the first king of the Greeks. Okay, come on.
And he came to the ram that had two horns.
This ram represents the kingdom of Media and Persia. Jump down to verse 20.
Yes, sir.
Just as a refresher, because I know many of our people have forgotten this already. Read.
The book of Daniel chapter 8 verse 20.
Come on.
The ram which thou sawest having two horns.
It says this ram which you see having two horns, come on,
are the kings of Media and Persia.
Are the kings of Media and Persia. So jump back up to verse 6.
Verse 6. And he came to the ram that had two horns.
That's the two horns represents the kingdom of Media and Persia. Come on.
Which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power.
He ran unto the ram in the fury of his power, because he was taking over that empire. Read.
And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him.
He was moved with great anger against him. Come on.
And smote the ram.
And he smote the ram. He took over. You understand? And killed the ram. Okay, come on.
And break his two horns.
And break his two horns, meaning he conquered those two empires of Media and Persia. Read.
And there was no power in the ram to stand before him.
There was no power from the ram to withstand before him. The him is Alexander. Read.
But he cast him down to the ground.
He destroyed him completely. He destroyed the kingdom of Media and Persia. Okay, because after the Greeks rose up, the kingdom of the Greeks, the kingdom of the Media and Persians, it was not standing because they took it over and conquered it. Read.
And stamped upon him.
They stamped upon it.
And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
Nobody could rescue them because thus said the Lord. The Most High gave the Spirit to Daniel to prophesy about the empires that will rule on this earth. You understand? The Bible is a true book. You can read about, you can even Google them, these empires. They rose. Their history is written. Okay, come on. And we are reading about it now also. Come on.
Therefore, the he-goat works very great.
The he-goat works very great. Meaning this Alexander became powerful. Read.
And when he was strong, the great horn was broken.
When he was strong, the great horn was broken. That's when he caught syphilis and dropped dead and died. Read.
And for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
Towards the 4 winds of heaven, meaning there were 4 kings that took over the kingdom of Alexander. Okay, for Alexander's 4 generals. Okay, now go back to First Maccabees now. First Maccabees 1 verse 2.
The first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 2.
Read.
And made many wars.
And see, Alexander, he made many wars. Read.
And won many strongholds.
And won many strongholds, meaning he conquered kingdoms and nations. Read.
And slew the kings of the earth.
You see that? That's why it says he smote the ram and stamped upon him. He slew the kings of the earth, he destroyed them. Read.
And went through the end of the earth. And went through the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations.
He took spoils of many nations. So there's, because the nations have riches. When it says spoils, talk about the riches of nations. He took them over. Read.
In so much that the earth was quiet before him.
Nobody could stand before him. Remember what Daniel said. He says he works very great. He was powerful, man. Read.
Whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up.
He was prideful. Come on.
And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries.
This mighty strong host is what was under the guide of Alexander's 4 generals. Okay, come on.
And ruled over countries.
Then ruled over countries.
And nations. And kings who became tributaries unto him.
They paid him taxes. Colonial tax. Like we're doing today, we pay colonial tax. It's the same thing. Go ahead.
And after these things, he fell sick.
He fell sick.
And perceived that he should die.
He dropped dead and died. Come on.
Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth.
You see, these are now those 4 notable ones that came after him. You understand? Alexander's 4 generals that took over his kingdom. Read.
And parted his kingdom among them.
They did what now?
And parted his kingdom among them.
They parted his kingdom among them. Read.
While he was yet alive.
While he was yet alive. So Alexander, when he died, there were 4 generals that rose up after him. You understand? So one was Alexander's 4. One was Cassander, who took over Macedonia and Greece. Cassander, that's one of his generals. Then the other one was Lysimachus, okay, who took over Thrace and Asia Minor. Okay, write this down. You understand? Okay, and then the next one was Seleucus. This is the one I actually want to touch on. Seleucus. You see this Seleucus right here? He is the one I want to touch on. I want to speak about Seleucus. Because out of Seleucus comes Antiochus. That's when those unrighteous decrees were given out during the time of the Greeks. You understand? Look up Alexander's 4 generals there and put it on the screen so the people can see it. I want you to read it, right? Alexander's 4 generals. They put it on the screen so the people can see that. Okay, so what we're going over unrighteous decrees. What you see Donald Trump doing, he's pushing out unrighteous decrees. He's following the footsteps of his forefathers, the Greeks. And the Greeks are following the footsteps of the kingdoms that came before them, whom they took over, one of which is what? The kingdoms of Media and Persia. They also pushed out unrighteous decrees against us when we were slaves under them. During the time of the Assyrians was the same thing. During the time of Egypt was the same thing. So guess what? So it is today. So when the Greeks took over, they also pushed out unrighteous decrees. And those unrighteous decrees was targeted to the 12 tribes of Israel that we were serving under them as slaves. Did you find them? Yeah, share it quickly so the people can see that thing. I want the people to see what we're going over. Okay, it's 4 o'clock now. Ish. Like I said, I'm going to be rushing through this. Lord's will, I can cover all of these. If not, Lord's will, life lasts, we can do it again. Okay. Did you see it? Did you put it? Okay, yeah, read it. The people can see it online, right? Share it with the people online, man. Come on. Yeah, read that again, verse 6.
Yes, sir. The first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 6.
Come on.
Wherefore he called his servants.
He called his servants for. Read.
Such as were honorable and had been brought up.
In his mind they were honorable, but they were not in the sight of the Lord. Understand that. In his mind, in the sight of the Greeks, they were honorable. Read.
And had been brought up with him from his youth.
You see, these 4 generals were brought up with him from his youth. Read.
And parted his kingdom among them.
He parted his kingdom among them. Go ahead.
While he was yet alive.
While he was yet alive. Did you put it? Okay, now read it.
Yes, sir.
Come on, brothers.
Yes,
come on.
Reading from Wikipedia.com. Alexander the Great's 4 most prominent generals who inherited parts of his empire after his death were Ptolemy.
Ptolemy took over Egypt. Go ahead. Cassander. Seleucus.
And Antiochus.
And not Antiochus. Lysimachus. They are wrong there. Antiochus comes out of the lineage of Seleucus. Okay? Antiochus comes out of the lineage of Seleucus. Okay? So now, read that again. The generals, but Antiochus is not one of Alexander's generals. Okay? Alexander comes out of the Seleucids or the Seleucus Empire. Understand that. Read again.
Alexander the Great, 4 most prominent generals who inherited parts of his empire after his death were Ptolemy, Cassander, that's true. Seleucus, and Antigonus. Not Antiochus, right? Antigonus. Okay, go ahead. They became known as the Diadochi. Ptolemy established the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt.
Now, Ptolemy took over Egypt. Read on.
Seleucus founded the Seleucid Empire.
That's it. Seleucus founded the Seleucid Empire. Read on.
In Mesopotamia and the East. Antigonus initially ruled much of Asia Minor, but was eventually killed, and his son Demetrius inherited his territories.
Okay, now, I want to show you something. Give me a second, Maccabees chapter 4, verse 7. I'm going to show you that Antiochus comes out of the Seleucus Empire. Okay? Read it.
The first book of Maccabees.
Second Maccabees 4.
The second book of Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 7.
Watch this.
But after the death of Seleucus,
watch this, come on.
When Antiochus,
you see Antiochus. This is Antiochus the Epiphanes. Read.
Called Epiphanes. Took the kingdom.
He did what now?
Took the kingdom.
You see that? So it couldn't have been Antiochus. That's why they wrote Antigonus there, not Antiochus. You understand? Okay, now let's go back. First Maccabees 1. First Maccabees chapter 1. Read verse 7 now.
The first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 7.
Read.
So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
So he ruled for 12 years and then he died, dropped dead. Then his 4 generals took over. Okay? Ptolemy, Lysimachus, Seleucus, and who? Come on, brothers. Cassander. Go ahead. Read.
And his servants per rule, everyone in his place.
You see that? So they took over and ruled over his kingdom. So that means the kingdom was so great that it took 4 generals to look. You understand? Read.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
Because now they were kings now. You understand? Read.
And so did their sons after them many years.
So they pushed them down to their children after them. Read on.
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
Read that again. And what now?
And evils were multiplied in the earth.
So when the Greeks took over, the Greeks is the white man. When the white man took over on this earth, it says evils were multiplied in the earth. They were not added, they were multiplied. You understand that? So it's telling you there was evil on earth, but when this white man took over, he multiplied the evil on this earth. So now imagine in 1453, during the Renaissance, when the white man came back into power in the earth, how much evil has been multiplied from that time until this day, 2025? A whole lot. A whole lot of evil has been multiplied since this white man took over, came back into power under the Renaissance until this day, 2025. So you see the evils that are happening upon this earth, this race is responsible for it. You see the coup d'etats that are happening on the continent, the white man is behind it. You see what's happening there in the Congo. You see what's happening in Mozambique. You know who's responsible for all of that? The white man. You see what's happening over there in Burkina Faso, because they want to take over. They want to destroy our brother Captain Ibrahim Traoré. They want to take him over. That's why you had a black man in America. He's in the US military. He was saying, no, Ibrahim Traoré is picking up the gold to enrich himself. Where's the proof? Where's the proof of that? Because they are pushing propaganda and garbage. And that black man, he must repent and get his mind right. You understand? Because he's too drunk by Babylon the Great. Kill those rich blacks. Kill those bourgeoisies. Agree he's got some position in Babylon the Great. They given him position in the military. Now he's slandering his own brother. You understand? If he doesn't repent, the Lord will destroy him. Understand that? We are not going to even allow our own people to what? To slander us, because we are going to destroy them with this Bible. We're going to rip their heads off with this book, the Holy Bible. Understand that thing, man? Because he's playing Judas right now. That's what he's doing, man. You saw on the news, right? He's playing Judas. But you see our people in Burkina Faso, they took to the streets. They say, we see what you're doing. It's not going to work. He's already survived over 100 assassinations so far already. You understand? Because he's a threat to the French. He's a threat to America. And we praise the Lord for that thing. You understand? Man, I want to meet that brother. Abraham, we must meet that brother, man. We will meet him one day. Lord's will, Lord's will. Now read that Bible again. Verse 9.
The first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 9. And after his death.
Actually, look that up. Where they were trying to actually do a coup d'etat. That general in America. I'm not jumping ahead, but yeah, play the video, man. Look that video up where he was saying now Captain Ibrahim Traoré is picking up the gold because he wants to enrich himself. You understand? He's slandering. Give me that in 1 Ezra 5 verse 72. He's using the mouth. Because this is the mouth of the white man, but he's taking advantage of it and he's using it against his own. That's the Judas, man. Okay? Now read that. 1 Ezra 5 verse 72.
The first book of Ezra, chapter 5 verse 72.
Come on.
But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea.
You see, he says the heathen of the land. These heathen is our enemies. The heathens are our enemies. The people that enslaved us, they're still enslaving us right now, oppressing us. You understand? Putting out unrighteous decrees to destroy our sovereignty, which we don't have one, by the way. Go ahead.
And holding them straight.
They are holding us straight. You see, that's why YouTube also is shutting down our channels. We create a new channel, they shut it down. What is wrong with us going to the streets and doing camp missions to wake our people up? There's nothing wrong with that. So you think. There's something wrong with that in the eyes of the white man, because what the hell are they doing now? They are waking up the people. You understand? They don't want that, man. Read.
Hindered their building.
You see, their job, the white man, that's his job, is to hinder us from building back our nation, from being to honor the way it was back in the day. Read.
And by their secret plots.
You see what they are doing? They sit down, they put together the secret plots. You know when these secret plots happen? Hold that. Give me Micah 2 and 1. I'm going to show you. He says by their secret plots. Because the white man always has a secret plots against the black man. Understand it? Against the Israelite man. Because we're the gods of the earth. I know it doesn't look like that right now, but we are the gods of this earth. You understand? And the whole earth was made for us. The earth was made for us. The earth was given to our forefather Adam. Now read the Bible, man. Micah 2 and 1.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Listen to those secret plots. Come on.
Woe to them that devise iniquity.
You see, it says destruction unto them that devise iniquity, meaning evil, sin. Read.
And work evil upon their beds.
They work evil upon their beds. You understand? Because remember, this is during the time of the Assyrians. So, and the Assyrians is making, it's also in today, is a metaphor for the white man. Understand that? The Assyrians today is the metaphor for the white man who's ruling this day. Read.
And work evil upon their beds.
They work evil upon their beds. Come on.
When the morning is light.
When the morning is light. When the morning comes, what do?
They practice
They practice the evil they concocted the night afore. You know what that's called? A secret plot. They are plotting secretly against you to overthrow you and to destroy you. But the way it's going to look in the media is going to look like no. That's what he's doing. He's enriching himself. But there's no proof. But they're going to put that message out there for the people to look on our brother, Captain Ibrahim Traore, as a bad guy. No, he's a hero. Guess what? He's one of the saviors, man. You see what? He doesn't have the Bible, but you see the way he's moving? He loves his people. You understand? He loves his people. Now read that again.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
And they work evil upon their beds. Go ahead.
When the morning is light.
When the morning is light.
They practice it.
They do what now?
They practice
They practice the evil they concocted. Go ahead.
Because it is in the power of their hands.
Because it is in the power of their hands. Because the white man is ruling right now. He's got power. He's the oppressor that has got power over us right now. So he thinks he's going to have power for us forever. No, that's why we're waking up now. So you see the secret plots, how they take place? This is how those secret plots, that's how they take place. You understand? And the plots they put together, they plan, it's satanic in nature. It's satanic. You understand? Because you see when you read here, when it says, read that again, I'm going to show you something with that verse in Micah.
Yes, sir. The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Read.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
They work evil upon their beds.
When the morning is light,
the morning comes,
they practice it.
Practice the evil. Read.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
It is in the what now?
It is in the power of their hand.
That means this man has power to concoct evil behind closed doors, and when the morning is light, he practices it. Because after, you see, Donald Trump, he just wakes up. You think he just wake up on the wrong side of the bed and now he just be been signing up stuff. No. He concocted this evil the night afore. When the morning is light, but he presidential decrees, which are unrighteous. You understand that? Where did he get this power to do all of that? No, I'm jumping ahead. Revelation 13, real quick. No, Luke. Give me Luke. Yep, give me Luke. Revelation is a little bit harder. Let's go to Luke. Okay, Luke chapter 4. Yeah, Luke 4 verse 6. Listen good to this. This is where they get the power to do what. This is where they get it from. Listen good to this.
The book of Luke chapter 4 verse 6.
Read.
And the devil.
And the what?
And the devil.
And the devil. Go ahead.
Said unto him. All this power.
All this what?
All this power.
Because it is in the power of their hands. Read. All this power.
Will I give.
Will I what?
Will I give.
Will I give thee. So the power that this white man has, you see where he gets it from? The devil, Satan. Read. Verse 6 again.
The book of Luke chapter 4 verse 6.
Come on.
The devil said unto him.
The devil said unto him. Come on.
All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them.
And the riches of them. Come on.
For that is delivered unto me.
Because that is delivered unto him. Go ahead.
And to whomsoever I will, I give it.
You see? To whomsoever I will. Meaning whosoever is going to worship me, I'm going to give them the power and the glory that comes with it. Read.
If thou therefore will worship me,
You see, that's the stipulation. That's the stipulation. If you worship me, he says, I'm going to give you the power and the glory that comes with it. Read.
all shall be thine.
He says, all shall be thine. Go ahead.
And Jesus answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan.
He says, get thee behind me, Satan. Because Christ didn't take that deal. You understand? Go ahead.
For it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God,
Read.
and him only shalt thou serve.
You see that? You shall worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. So Christ was saying something there. Satan serves the Most High. That's what he's letting you know right there. He just drops a jewel right there, man. You understand? But go back to Micah 2, verse 1 again.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1.
Come on.
Woe to them that devise iniquity, and work evil upon their beds.
And they work evil upon their beds. So who's giving them the evil? He's going to tell you. Go ahead.
When the morning is light,
When the morning comes,
they practice it.
they do what now?
They practice
They
it
practice the evil they concocted. Come on.
because it is in the power of their hand.
And today, because they have the power of the media, they use the media to practice it. So guess what? Who gave them the power to practice the evil they concocted the night before? Satan. Satan is the one that did that. You understand? So give me that in Ecclesiastes 4 and 1. I'm going to show you some more. Because the evil they concoct the night before, today they are called unrighteous decrees. And they use the media to push it out. Who use Rumbu, SABC, who ENCA, what's these other news channels? CNN, CNBC. They are all pushing the same propaganda. They are the same. The people that are pushing the real truth, the real news, is the 12 tribes of Israel with this Bible, teaching it the right way. We are the only people on this earth that are pushing out real news, the actual news. You understand? And some of those Edomites who Jeffrey Sachs, that the Lord is moving their spirit to spill the beans. You see him, Jeffrey Sachs, he'll be telling you why the wars are happening. Who's behind the wars? America, of course. Who's pushing America to fight these wars, to push these wars to Syria, to fight with the Palestinians and whatnot? Who's doing all that? Amalek. He's telling you, man. Now, read that.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 1.
Read.
So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun.
So who's returning? Who's returned? The prophets. The prophets have returned, and now they've considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. You're not going to consider the oppressions that are done under the sun if you don't come through this Bible. If you come through politics, you're not going to consider them. If you come in through Christianity, there's not even a shred. Through politics, maybe somewhat those are pushing extremely left. Sometimes they may say things that line up with the Bible, but they also just playing their part to confuse the hell out of our people. Go ahead.
And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed.
The tears of such as were oppressed. Who's oppressed? Us. The 12 tribes of Israel, we are oppressed. Read.
And they had no comfort.
And because we had no comforter. We thought politics is the comfort. We thought the late Mudise of IPCCH, whatever, is the comfort. No, he's not the comforter. Bushiri is not your comforter. You understand? Mboro is not your comforter. T.D. Jakes is not your comforter. Julius Malema is not your comforter. The Bible, the Most High God of heaven and earth in His Word, this is what's going to comfort you, because this is the truth that is raw and uncut and unfiltered. Read.
And on the side of their oppressors.
And on the side of their oppressors, because there's more than one oppressor. Read.
There was power.
There was what?
There was power.
Where did they get this power from? We just read it in Luke 4 and 6. They got it from the devil. Now go back to 1 Ezra. Did you find the clip? Play it. Play the clip. The people must hear it also.
The approach that we have had with USAID and the other things like the President's Initiative on AIDS, how does our U.S. approach compare and contrast to the approach of Russia in Africa and also communist China in Africa?
Oh, Chairman, we've always had the lead. So what you're seeing in those two competitors or challengers, they're following in our wake. They see what works as far as our influence and deepening partnerships through those soft powers, whether it be health diplomacy or whether it be in development type programs. So they're following in our wake, trying to replicate what we do best. And I think the African countries know this, and so this is where, as we start to look at going forward, as State Department starts to reset these programs, looking at what worked and what didn't work, and doubling down on what does work. I think we have enough capital built up in these countries for them to ensure their stabilization and also prosperity. The other two competitors are just trying to replicate what we do best.
I can imagine a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side that inure to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Tory and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across. Even in Sudan, what's going on with the rapid support forces and Burhan of the Sudan forces, when you get down to it, it's all about the revenue that can be drawn out of that. And there are nefarious actors in the CCP or in sometimes Russia.
Okay, that's it on that. Now, give me First Maccabees 11 verse 21. You see, this brother right here, he hates his own people. This is a Judas. This brother who is in the U.S. military, this brother right here, he says, Captain Ibrahim Traore, the gold reserves that he got is to benefit him. And guess what? He's responding to that white man. But you hear what they said? They said research, the research that they do. They said all of this is based on the research they do. Where did they get the research from? Who's doing the research? Where are they doing the research from? Because they put people in, you know who they put? They put sleeper agents. They put sleeper agents up in there. They are the ones that come to report. And the things they report is not the truth. They're reporting propaganda. Because they want to use the media to vilify our brother Captain Ibrahim Traore, so that when they go into Burkina Faso to bomb it like they did the Congo, like they did Mozambique, like they did to Gaddafi, so that the world will approve. It's the same trick bag that they use. First they use the media to assassinate you. When the world is against you, then they go in there, they say, no, there's terrorists. There's terrorism over there. We're going to stop a dictator because that regime is not good for the people on the ground, because they want the gold. They want the minerals in Burkina Faso. That's why they are saying what they're, and they're using a black man to do it. Now read the Bible for me.
Yes, sir. The first book of Maccabees, chapter 11, verse
21. What you just saw, that's what is called, that's what's called an unrighteous decree. That right there is an unrighteous decree. Now read it.
The first book of Maccabees, chapter 11, verse 21.
Come on.
Then certain ungodly persons.
You see, that brother, that general, he's a general, is it? What is he? He's a general in the U.S. Army, right? You see that? He's an certain what?
Certain ungodly persons.
He's an ungodly man. That's not a godly man. He's an ungodly man. And he hates his own people, man. Read.
Who hated their own people.
He hates his own people. That's why he wants to destroy his own brother, because he's got the U.S. military behind him. You understand? Read.
Went unto the king.
He went to the king. Who's the king right now? The king of Babylon. Because remember, he's the general in the U.S. Army. They report to the president. They report to the minister of the Secretary of Defense. The Secretary of Defense reports to the president. You understand? Read.
Went unto the king and told him that Jonathan besieged the tower.
That's it. You see that? They are saying, no, he's enriching himself in Burkina Faso. He don't care about the people. So he says the gold reserves, they are to benefit the strong man. Talking about Captain Ibrahim Traore. Listen, Mr. White Man, the Most High God of heaven and earth is on to you. And he's using the prophets to expose you. We're going to give you a biblical beat down. Understand that. No fear, no favor. We know you're going to be trying to cut down our channel. You're going to be trying to shut us down. The Lord is with us. First Ezra 5:72 again. We're going to give you a biblical beat down. We're not going to show favor unto you because we're coming with the Spirit of the Lord. Understand that. Now read that. Come on, man.
The first book of Ezra, chapter 5, verse 72.
Wait.
But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea,
Come on.
and holding them straight,
And holding them strictly. Because America wants to control the continent because they know that's where the riches are. When they see a leader rise up on the continent, you know what they do? They will create the things called coup d'etat. To overthrow that government first, they try to use the public to do it. So they send an economic hitman. If that doesn't work, guess what they do? They use the public to do it. They give weapons, they give guns, they give ammunition to people on the ground who are poor. They give them guns, they arm, they give them money. Guess what they do? They start to terrorize the public. Then the public complains. When the public complains, they say, no, there's civil war in Burkina Faso. There's civil war in Mozambique. There's civil war in the Congo. Now America is using Rwanda to attack the Congo. You know why? Because they want to protect themselves from stealing the coltan out of the Congo using Rwanda, which is they are using the Kigali airport to steal the resources out of the Congo. What is that resource coltan? That coltan is used to create these chips, computer chips, fighter jets, computers and all of that. That's where the mineral is found, in the Congo. Who are they using? They're using Paul Kagame, a Hamite. He looks black, but he's not our people. That's a Hamite. He's a son of Ham. You understand? The U.S. is using him because they are the ones that help him build Kigali Airport. As a payment, he's going to steal the resources out. He's going to smuggle coltan out of the Congo. So when South Africa sends soldiers over there, Kagame is like, no, you listen, you can bring it on. You know who was he? He was saying that because he knew the U.S. was behind him. It's the same thing happening in Mozambique, man. What do you think happening in Mozambique? They want the gold in Mozambique. They want the minerals in Mozambique. Man, listen, man. If you're not in this Bible, you're not going to talk like this. You understand? That's why our people in Poland, they are asleep. Read that Bible again, man.
The first book of Ezra, chapter 5, verse 72.
Wait.
But the heathen of the land, lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea,
Come on.
and holding them straight,
And guess what? They use black people, you see. They use these bourgeoisie Negroes who has power. Again, they give them power. That's how they pay them, pal. That's their payment. They give them a little money. They say, listen, we're giving you a position and money. Go speak against your brother in the Burkina Faso. Speak against your brother in Mali. Speak against your brother in Sudan. Speak against your brother in Ghana. Speak against your brother in Mozambique. They are the ones, Bella, that had the president of Mozambique, Samora Machel. They are the ones that had him killed. Because he was what? He was not afraid of the white man. He was telling them straight to their face. He says, listen, if I want, I can come to South Africa and bomb them. But I'm not going to do that because my brother's over there. So I'm not going to bomb South Africa. Instead, I'm going to deal with you directly, Mr. White Man. Why do you think they kill our forefather Samora Machel? That's the reason, man. He wasn't afraid of them. Now read the Bible for me.
But the heathen of the land, laying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea, and holding them straight,
Read.
hindered their building.
He hindered their building. And that's what they are doing with us. You see what they are doing? You put up a channel, we breaking new ground. One video, the channel is already down. They shut down our video that we put up, lion mode, is gone now. You understand? How many videos did they shut down? SOC Calfontaine is destroyed, it's gone. What was wrong with teaching us that Christ is black? We know what's wrong with it. It means the black people will wake up and know they are the Jews of the Bible. That's what's wrong with it in the side of the white man. Read on.
And by their secret plots,
They are secret plots. You see where they are. We read in Micah, we read in Ecclesiastes 4, we read in Luke 4 verse 6, where there's these secret plots, they get concocted in the night season and they are cancelled by their father, the devil. Right?
and popular persuasions,
And popular persuasions, because they concoct these secret plots in the night season, and when the morning is light, they practice it using their mouth, which is called the media, the news channels, CNN, CNBC, Newsroom Africa. Newsroom Africa Pella is also another part of the propaganda machine. You'll be amazed whereby you watch something on CNN, they say that they even use the same words. You watch Newsroom, they use the same word, the same thing. We're like, wait a minute. Did these people get the same script? This person is in South Africa, speaking Setswana. But for some ungodly reason, they're going to be repeating the same thing that the Edomite on CNN in America is saying the same thing. We're like, wait a minute. What happened here? Is because it's a propaganda machine. Now keep reading, man. Read.
and by their secret plots and
There are
popular
secret plots
persuasions
and popular persuasions. Come on.
and commotions,
And commotions, because with this popular persuasion, they cause commotion, they cause problems on the ground. Now there's a civil war. Now when you hear people talk, they're like, yeah, you see that Ibrahim Traoré is no good. Because that's what Malema, that's the song Malema used to sing. I remember when Captain Ibrahim Traoré took over Burkina Faso from those corrupt leaders. He's like, no, we must go to the African Union. We must go to the UN. Now all of a sudden, not so long ago you were saying, yeah, but you see what Captain Ibrahim Traoré is doing. I'm like, you see, here comes the flip-flopper. He is also part of the machine. Keep reading, man.
and by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building.
They all, because the whole point of these unrighteous decrees is to stop us from building up our nation from its former glory to its former glory. That's the whole point of them doing this. Understand that? Read.
All the time that King Cyrus lived, so they were hindered from building for the space of 2 years
Go ahead.
until the reign of Darius.
You see this? So now what I'm trying to show you is that these things, they exist. So what the video you just played is exactly what we're reading here. You understand? So now, go back to 1 Maccabees, man. 1 Maccabees 1 verse 10.
The first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 10.
Read.
And there came out of them a wicked root.
They came out of them. The them is Alexander's 4 generals, particularly Seleucus Empire. Go back to 2 Maccabees 4 and 7. We read it earlier. I know some of you already forgot. Come on.
The second book of Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 7.
Read. 2 Maccabees 4 and 7. Read it quickly.
But after the death of Seleucus,
After the death of Seleucus or Seleucus, read.
when Antiochus called Epiphanes, took the kingdom,
He did what?
took the kingdom.
That's it. Go back. 1 Maccabees 1 and 10.
The first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 10.
Read.
And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus,
Antiochus, come on.
surnamed Epiphanes.
Surname Epiphanes. Epiphanes means God's reign on earth, because that's what they call themselves. They say they are the gods of the earth, because the Most High God of heaven and earth says, we are the gods of the earth. They say, no, we're going to call ourselves the gods of the earth. You understand? Read.
Son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage at Rome.
This is remember, this Antiochus, surname Epiphanes, this is Antiochus the 4th. His father was Antiochus the 3rd. Go ahead.
And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
So now what I want you to see here is this. When Antiochus took over, there's a lot of unrighteous decrees that he put out. I'm going to read some of them. Read verse 41.
Yes, sir. Verse 41.
Go ahead.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom
He wrote to his whole kingdom, come on,
that all should be one people.
that all should be one people. You see the birth of democracy? This is the birth of democracy right here. That all should be one people, come on.
And everyone should live his laws.
Meaning it says, and everyone should live his laws. Who was given laws on this earth? The 12 tribes of Israel, we were given the laws of God. You understand that? Give me Romans 3 and 1. Yes, the 12 tribes of Israel, we were given this Bible. This Bible was given to the 12 tribes of Israel and us only. It was not given to the Chinaman. It was not given to the Edomite, aka the white man. It wasn't given to them. It was given to us. Read it.
The book of Romans chapter 3 verse 1.
Listen good.
What advantage then had the Jew?
What advantage then have the Jews? Because we are the Jews. We have an advantage over all nations on earth, and the nations are at a disadvantage. He's going to tell you why. Come on.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Read.
Much every way.
Mainly. Come on.
Chiefly.
Mainly.
Because that unto them.
Because unto us, the Jews, what was given to us?
Were committed the oracles of God.
Because unto us was given this Bible. That's why we have an advantage over all nations on earth, because we can repent and they can. The white man cannot come out of the sin he's in. He can't repent because he has to use the laws to repent, but he wasn't given any of the laws in this book. That's why he thrives in sin, and our people are following him because they think they also will thrive in sin. They don't. You ever notice that? Our people do the things that the white man does, and they are the ones that always get caught. Because the white man does his vibration. If he doesn't sin, he doesn't feel good about himself. Because that's his vibration. Our vibration is the laws that are written in this book. When we keep God's commandments, we prosper. When we break God's commandments, look where we are, at the bottom of all nations right now. You understand? Now, go back.
Yes, sir.
What verse are you in?
Verse 41, sir.
Verse 41. Read it again.
The first book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41.
Read.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
This is in Athens, Greece. This is the birth of democracy. That crazy demon. Read.
And everyone should leave his laws.
It says everyone should leave his laws. Who were given the laws? The children of Israel, because we were slaves under the Greeks. Go ahead.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Who are the heathens? All nations outside of us. So that's why it says everyone should leave his laws. Was he talking to all the heathens? No. He was talking to the heathens about us, because under the Greeks, we were keeping the commandments until they put an unrighteous decree that we must not follow, we must not observe the Sabbath, we must not pronounce ourselves to be Jews. If we do, we're going to be put to death. We must not read the Bible. They set the Bible's on fire. That's what they were doing. When Hitler took over in these last days, that Temanite, that's what the same thing he did. You understand? Read.
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Watch this. Now look at what our people did. Read.
Yea, many also of the Israelites.
Many also of our people, when they had this unrighteous decree from Antiochus, what did they do?
Consented to his religion.
They agreed. They agreed to this religion. So what is the Greek religion? Democracy. So when our people form political parties, they don't know that they are just falling under the white man's playbook, because they want to use the white man's instrument to deliver themselves out of captivity. You see how foolish that is? Because that only the people that are heading a trick back is our people who are not in this Bible. They are in their manifestos. Your manifesto is not going to teach you what we're reading here, but the Bible will. Go ahead.
And sacrificed unto idols.
You see what they did? They started to sacrifice unto the idols of the Greeks. One of those idols is what? Political leaders that they elect. Those are idols. That's why they idolize them. That's why you see black people, our people, wearing the t-shirt ya Herman Mashaba. They wear t-shirt ya Msholozi. They wear t-shirt ya Julius Malema. They wear t-shirt ya Tumamina. What do you think that is? Idolatry. Okay, come on.
And profane the Sabbath.
And they profane the Sabbath, because on the Sabbath day, our people are selling and cooking, they are buying, they are grooming. On the Sabbath day. You understand? Read.
For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and to the cities of Judah.
You see, to Jerusalem and the cities of Judah. So the king sent letters to our people, to the temple in Jerusalem. To do what?
That they should follow the strange laws of the land.
That's it. So today, how do our people follow the strange laws of the land? They have manifestos, they have political parties, they have elections, they break the Sabbath, they follow Christmas, they follow Mother's Day, Father's Day, they observe Easter, they observe Valentine's Day. What else do they observe? What's the other stuff? Women's Day. They observe all of that. That's not in the Bible. but those are the strange laws of the land. You understand? Our people today, they say they are gays and lesbians. Those are the strange laws of the land. Because that's in the Constitution, by the way. You understand? Those are the strange laws of the land. We follow the laws of the land if they don't go against what's written in this Bible. If the laws of the land says two men can get married, we don't agree with that because they go against the Bible. Understand that. Read.
And forbid burnt offerings.
They stop burnt offerings. Now, our people can no longer repent. Read. You know how they do it today? I agree we're no longer under the law of animal sacrifice. How do they forbid burnt offerings? They teach our people why Jesus. Because back then, our people knew that Jesus was black. They knew that the Messiah was a black man. So they forbid burnt offerings because they knew that that's how we as a people, we get forgiveness of sins. So today, they pushing our people, they say, no, Jesus is a white man, which is nowhere in the Bible. So now our people, they don't know that Jesus is a black man. They believe that Jesus is a white man, even though it's written nowhere. So that's how they forbid burnt offerings, spiritual sacrifices. Because for you to offer spiritual sacrifices, guess what you do? Sirach 35:1. For you to offer spiritual sacrifices, you must be keeping God's commandments. Keeping God's commandments in these last days, that's how we offer spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ. You understand?
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 35, verse 1.
Read.
He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough.
You see what the Bible is saying? He that keepeth the law bringeth offerings enough. Go ahead.
He that taketh heed to the commandment offereth a peace offering.
That's it. So our people don't keep the commandment because you know what the pastors tell them in Christianity? No, the laws of God are done away with. How can they offer spiritual sacrifices? They can't. So the same decree that they put out there, which was unrighteous, is the same decree they're putting out today, and they are giving that decree every Sunday when our people go to church. That's why people can't repent. That's why people are still stuck in political parties and these churches that don't teach them nothing. You understand? So go back to where we were. First Maccabees 4.
Yes, sir. The first book of Maccabees,
Chapter
1,
1.
verse 45.
Yeah, read that.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings
Read.
in the temple.
Go ahead.
And that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
That's why our people today don't observe the Sabbath. Secondly, our people don't observe the festival days that God gave unto us. They don't observe the Feast of Dedication. They don't observe the Feast of Pentecost, the Feast of the Passover. They don't observe the Feast of Tabernacles. They don't observe the New Moon. You understand? They don't observe any of the law, none of the feasts, the high holy days that are written in this Bible. That's an unrighteous decree. Because now those feast days that the Lord has given unto us, they are replaced by Christmas today. They are replaced by New Year. They are replaced by Easter, those demonic devil days. You understand? Right?
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
Exactly. Come on.
Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols.
Exactly. That's why when you walk in the Christian church today, you will find a white Jesus. You will find Moses, they say, is white. You see the angels. Go to the Roman Catholic Church, you'll find that stuff. Okay, come on.
And sacrifice swine's flesh.
That's why our people today, they cannot let go of that thing. No, I want some pork chops. That's why they go to steers. Steers, is that the one where they get pork ribs and pork chops? Spare. Yeah, that's it. They go to spare. Go ahead.
And sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beast.
Unclean beast. That's why they eat calamari, shrimp, lobster. Those roaches of the sea. Your bottom feeders that eat the poops of fishes and sharks and crows and eagles. Read.
That they should also leave their children uncircumcised.
That's why people don't do that today. They don't circumcise their children. Read. Their sons. Go ahead.
And make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
And what was the point of all this? Keep reading.
To the end that they might forget the law.
You see that? To the end that they might forget the law. That's why today when you bring up the commandments of the Most High, they say, the Old Testament. That's the first question they ask you. Because that's what the garbage they teach them in the Christian church. They say, no, the Old Testament is done away with. Don't read the Old Testament, read the New Testament. You know what they are doing? They are preventing you from repenting and remembering who your God is. Because the minute you start to obey the laws in the Bible, it means, wait a minute, so we must keep the commandments. Wait a minute, the commandments were given to the Israelites. Does that mean that we are the Jews of the Bible? Now you begin to ask questions. Because the minute in the churches, the pastors teach the Feast of Tabernacles, you want to know more about it. Hey, what is it about? Hey, when did we observe this? How do we count when to observe it? Wait a minute. Wait, this was given by Moses. Hey, Moses was teaching the Israelites. Does that mean that we are the Jews? Because it begs more questions. So that's why they say no. They put an unrighteous decree, says no feast, no nothing. So you don't remember. Go ahead.
To the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
Now watch this. Give me 2 Maccabees chapter 6. Read verse 6 for me. Here's another unrighteous decree. Watch this. 2 Maccabees chapter 6. Read verse 5.
The second book of Maccabees chapter 6 verse 6.
Start at verse 5.
Verse 5. Moreover, there came one who brought him tidings.
Verse 5. The altar also. 2 Maccabees. 2 Maccabees 6 and 5. Brothers and sisters, we're going to have to wrap it up. Lord's will continue. Okay? Come on.
The second book of Maccabees chapter 6 verse 5.
Read.
The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth.
Which the law forbiddeth. So they were doing things that was against the law because we were under the Greeks during this time. Read.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days.
You see, that was an unrighteous decree because Antiochus put out an unrighteous decree to say it is against the law of the Greeks for you to observe the Sabbath. That's an unrighteous decree. That's why you see what the Pope did? What the Pope did, he dropped dead on live TV. The Most High God is glorious, man. It's of the Lord. The Most High God of heaven is the one that smote him. You understand? Read that again, verse 5. Verse 6.
Verse 6. Neither was
because the Pope changed the Sabbath day from being observed on the Sabbath on Saturday to Sunday. That's why people go to church on Sunday. He thought the Lord forgot. The Most High God of heaven did not forget that unrighteous decree they put out. They lie. You understand? Go ahead.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days.
Read.
Or ancient feasts.
Or ancient feasts. So that's why under the Greeks, we were not allowed to observe the Feast of Tabernacles. You couldn't observe the Feast of the Passover under the Greeks because it was against the commandments of the Greeks.
Read. Or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
You could not even call yourself an Israelite under the Greeks. So it was against the law for you to call yourself a Jew. And that's when they took away our nationality. That's when we became a byword under the Greeks. You understand? They made sure that you don't remember who you are. So you can understand, or during the time when the Apostle Paul was teaching, during the time of Rome, the Greeks, they made sure that we don't observe our feast days and we don't profess ourselves to be Jews. So when the Apostle Paul was going to the scattered Israelites, even those that were in Greek islands, the Greeks were not happy about that. Or this one Moses bring him to their remembrance who they are and what laws they're supposed to observe. Do you see? They saw the Apostle Paul as a threat. Yes, that was the problem. Okay, come on.
And in the day of the king's birthday.
In the day of the king's birth.
In the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraints to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept.
This is Bacchanal. You understand? Bacchus is the sex god, is the god of sex and wine and orgies. Bacchus. Right?
The Jews were compelled to go in
possession
to Bacchus carrying ivy.
You see, because they were even taught us how to observe Bacchus. Today is called Bacchanal. You understand? These are unrighteous decrees. So that means if the king was born on December 28, every month on the 28th, you must celebrate the king's birth. And you must bring possessions. You must bring gifts. Go ahead.
Moreover, there went out a decree.
They went out a what?
there went out a decree
more unrighteous decrees. They went out a decree, come on,
to the neighbor cities of the heathen
to the neighbor cities of the heathens. Go ahead.
by the suggestion of Ptolemy
This is one of Alexander's 4 generals. Go ahead.
against the Jews.
You see, the unrighteous decrees, they are always targeted towards the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what I'm trying to show you. So what Donald Trump is doing, don't be confused by the noise. The things that he's targeting, the people he's targeting is us. He's targeting the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Go ahead.
Against the Jews,
Against the Jews. You see that? Read.
that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices.
Exactly. Read. Because if you don't, you know what happens? We don't fund you anymore. Isn't that what happened to South Africa? They say, no, we're going to cut the HIV/AIDS. He said, no, we're going to destroy AGOA. What the hell does America have to do with AGOA? But that's exactly what they're doing. Read.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles,
He says, if we did not conform to the manners of the Greeks, the white man, what happened?
should be put to death.
That's exactly what they did. So now they are killing our people spiritually and physically because they are setting up coups in countries now. When you see there's a civil war in Mozambique, you must know the white man is behind it. But he's using the locals to do it so that it doesn't point back to him. He uses the locals to do it. The people that he's using to assassinate a Captain Ibrahim Traoré, those people are not sitting in America. Those people are sitting in Burkina Faso, who are actually being used against their own people to overthrow the government, to overthrow Captain Ibrahim Traoré. That's what they're doing. You understand? Is that it on that?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
Then might a man have seen present misery.
The present misery. So now, the misery that we're seeing is now. You see all these unrighteous decrees, it doesn't start with Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't dream this up. He's following after the footsteps of his forefathers. That's what he's doing. It's not like he just dreamed this up. He's like, oh, I have an idea. No. They read their history as well as ours. So they want to see what their forefathers did to oppress us, so they can oppress us today by following the footsteps and the playbook their forefathers used in conjunction with our history. How did they respond when we put out these unrighteous decrees? What did they do? What weapon did they use to fight back? Now they know is the Bible. That's why all this time they've been doing what? They've been doing quote-unquote translations of the Bible. The New King James, the NLT, the NIV. You know why? Because the white man knows that the time would come where the Israelites would wake up and they will pick up this book. When they do, we would have changed some things up in there. Song of Solomon is not in the NIV. It doesn't say I'm black and beautiful. It says I'm very dark. What does that mean? Because that's how they fight against us. You understand? So brothers and sisters, we are out of time. I wanted to go more and more, but we're out of time. We're coming from camp, okay? So we're going to set up the time properly. Going forward, our classroom will start at 2 p.m. 2 p.m., right? 2 p.m. So 2 p.m., we're going to start our classroom. It's no longer going to be at 3. It's going to be at 2 going forward. We'll put out the messages on the group. We'll put it out on social media as well for you to know when our classroom on the Sabbath begins. It starts at 2 p.m., no longer at 3 p.m. like it used to. It's going to start an hour earlier. You understand? 2 p.m. Central African time. That's the one, right? For those of our brothers and sisters that are watching from Babylon the Great and everywhere else where they are scattered. And with that, all praises to the Most High. Let's break bread. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, come on. Let's break bread in the name of Lord and Savior Jesus the Christ.
For I have received that of the Lord. For I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto